Hey everyone, hope you had a great weekend and welcome back and happy Monday. I'm excited to be back with you guys to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is sublimating glitter flake. So we talk a lot about patterns and some of the glitter patterns that we offer, and maybe you're not interested in working with the glitter patterns and you want to just be able to make your own patterns out of glitter. That is something that is totally achievable with our CAD-CUT Glitter Flake. And one of the most common misconceptions is that it only works with a certain type of glitter heat transfer vinyl. And in some cases, this is true. But our brand of Glitter Flake is definitely compatible with the sublimation transfers. So that's what we're going to be working on today. And if you aren't sublimating in-house, that's totally fine, because you can upload artwork on our artwork uploader and order it in sublimation transfers, or you can get our patterns in sublimation as well. So if it's not something, maybe it's something you're even on the fence of, you're not entirely sure how the entire process works, and you just haven't made the jump into working with sublimation, this is definitely a really easy way to get started, because we just send you. Actually, this is a sheet that's cut in half. They're like a 14 by 24 inch sheet, I believe, that is completely covered in sublimation of whatever pattern you want. So these are the couple of the patterns that we're going to be working today. And like I mentioned, we're going to be sublimating onto our glitter flake. So I see some of you folks commenting in from Facebook. Hi, Jerry, Denise, online. And how you can do that for free, because not all of us are graphic artists. I'll raise my hand. I'm a part of that group. I don't know a ton about building my own artwork. So for the most part, I'm pulling free SVGs where I can so that I can show you guys different projects that you can make. And I feel like that resonates with a few of you pretty well, because some of us just don't have that background. Some of us have the eye for it, but we just don't know how to create all of the different SVG files and designs out there that can help us sell more. So one free online artwork program that we offer is CADWorxLive.com. And this is one of the designs that we're going to be creating today, but you don't need to see that, so I'll get rid of that. So if you go into our, all of these are ready to cut, ready to print. Depending on the method that you're using to create these are production ready. So that's the beauty of CADWorxLive. It's all vector art that you create in here. And these were all created by importing like free clip art that we're finding. One of the girls that I work with, Sarah, she's actually really great in Corel Draw. So she's importing a lot of stuff from there as well. So I encourage you guys to browse through these, because a lot of these are customizable. So you can come in here and let's say it's this one, for example, which is one we're actually going to be creating today. It's going to take a while. My internet's running slow, but this is completely customizable. So if I wanted to change this to a local school in my area, so let's just go with Uniontown Raiders, right? That's going to populate on the screen for me and change that out, right? So you can come in here and customize these. They're not all just set to, you know, cut only. These can be completely changed in and out. So I can keep the R for Raiders, but if I wanted to change this to U for Uniontown, I can do that. And then however you choose to produce this at this point, you have the ability to do this. So if you wanted to cut this leopard pattern out of the leopard heat transfer vinyl you can do that. Or you can order it in a sublimation sheet, which is what you're seeing here. Right, and you can sublimate with it. So a lot of these designs are built beyond just heat transfer vinyl. They're made with the thought that not everybody is just constantly working with heat transfer vinyl. You can be screen printing, you could be sublimating, you could be doing direct to garment, whatever it may be, you have the capability of doing this. So let's say, for example, you don't want this pattern in here, you have a sublimation printer in-house. If you want to change the fill, to a gradient, you have the power to do that too. And you can change which way it goes. So if I wanted this to go from like a light pink to a deep red, I would change this like so. So this is the start point of the color. That would be the beginning. And then if I wanted it to fade to a pink, I would change that out. And I can change how this looks on there. So if I click OK, it's going to create a really cool gradient. So there are a lot of possibilities within CADWorx. So it's not just all the artwork that we're looking for you and different things that you can that we can do on our end, but also it helps to go in on your end and also, you know, just play with it, figure out what's going to work best for your customers and the print methods that you're doing, whatever's going to make it easier for you. Now, do keep in mind, there are some templates that we have imported in here that are stock. So a few of these can't be edited, but you can still change these in and out based off of what product you want to use or your print method. So like, for example, this sunflower monogram, you would have to, at this point, import your own type of monogram font because within CADWorx, we don't offer a monogram font. So what I would do is upload my own monogram font and change that. And that's easily done by going to add text and then selecting which font you want. And then you can go to upload font and you'll have all of your entire library housed in here of all the different fonts. So once you upload one font, you don't have to worry about having to upload it again every single time you want to use that. It will be housed in here and saved for this. So just be careful. I just like to be, you know, totally transparent with everybody whenever we're working in CADWorx. If you are going to upload your own fonts, just make sure you're using them the right way. There's some out there that are only for personal use. There are some that you can pay for and are commercial use. So just keep that all in mind. Now, whenever we are importing these designs and these different SVG files that you guys can edit and use, those are commercial use. You guys can use this artwork and sell it however you see fit. So keep that in mind. If you are using the artwork in here, just be rest assured that it's safe to use and it's something that you can create and sell to your customers. So before we move into the actual heat applications with our sublimation transfers and our glitter flake, all the designs that I'm printing today all came from CADWorx. So I want you to keep that in mind. That's where you can access the free SVG files. That's where we're constantly uploading these different designs and artwork that we're showing in our lives. All right, so let's check out the comments section and make sure we have all the questions answered. So let's see. Jerry asked, can we also use PNGs or only SVGs? Yeah, so if you are importing your own artwork in here and it's a PNG file, it accepts PNG files. So just keep in mind that you can also vectorize a PNG file if at any point you need to cut it out. Now, if you're uploading artwork through Stahls, so I'm not sure which one you're asking about. So if it's CADWorx, yes, you can import PNGs. If you're uploading artwork for us to print and send to you ready to heat apply, we also accept SVGs and PNGs as well. So there's a variety of different file types on there. If you just go to that little artwork uploader link at the top of our website, it'll actually give you a list of all the file types it accepts. All right. So Mike asked, is it possible to create something in CADWorx, save it, and then open it in the GraphTech program? For some reason, the GraphTech program isn't talking to VectorCut. So Mike, I encourage you to email our technical support team. It's QE@stahls.com, and I'll actually type that in here. They will be able to actually remote into your computer and get the GraphTech talking to VectorCut if you're having an issue with that. However, if you need something right away and they haven't been able to help you yet, yes, you can export as a PDF in this program. and that will save it as a vector image. So anytime you export as a PDF, that's actually saving the cut file that's in there as well. So when you go to import that into a different program, as long as that program accepts PDFs, then it will read it as that vector image. I haven't worked with Graphtec Studio in probably a year or so. And I believe the studio I was working in was compatible with the Graphtec C6000, not the Plus or the 7000. And I know some things have changed since then. So I would just double check to make sure that they can actually accept PDFs. All right. And then Cassandra asked, is there a video showing or telling how to send to my Cameo? So we do have them. It's old and I can't even remember the title of it. If you go to the Stahls TV YouTube channel and search Silhouette and CADWorx together, it should pop up. But anytime I have exported my artwork from CADWorx and brought it into Silhouette Studio, I've always had to export it as a PNG and then trace to get a cut line. So I know there are some loopholes and some workarounds that people have figured out when trying to use CADWorx with Silhouette. But as of now, that's the only solution I found to work consistently. So yeah, just exporting and tracing. All right, looks like we have most of the questions answered. If you guys have any more questions, just go ahead and comment and I'll be sure to visit those. So the first application we're going to do is white glitter flake. And we're actually going to do some mixed media with these projects as well, because I feel like there are some limitations to sublimating onto glitter flake, but you can go beyond some of the basics. So you can see here we have like a split design. But for the most part, what we've recommended with sublimating glitter flake is that you have a solid piece. One, because it's just easier to sublimate and then to transfer onto apparel. But two, it's actually going to make whatever pattern you're printing on the glitter really pop. So if you're doing a larger solid image, that's a best practice that we offer for sublimation. But I don't want you guys to think that you can't still drop in different effects and text to really customize or personalize a piece of apparel to just kind of take it to the next level. So I've seen where people have done patch-like sublimation, which works really well if you're doing very small, maybe left chest logos or a sleeve print or just something that's not like overbearing. But if you start to go big and do patch like full color glitter with sublimation, it's a little bit heavy on the shirt, especially if you're working with like 50-50 garments that are really lightweight. And you just don't want something really heavy on there. So don't be afraid to open up the glitter flake a little bit, make it more breathable and create larger designs with it. So the first glitter that we're going to sublimate is this little pineapple, and then we're going to drop in our CAD-CUT metallic just to kick it up a notch and really build more profit opportunity and just a special effect into it. So this is the white glitter, and for the first thing that you want to do is make sure you have your temperature, pressure, and time set accurately. So I'm at 385 at my heat press and on 45 seconds, and my pressure is at a medium. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a Teflon sheet or what we call a reusable cover sheet. And what this is going to do is actually save the backing of the glitter flake. All right, so whenever I go to peel this off, I'm actually going to start by placing this down and then peeling this off. So what I'm doing for this process is completely removing the glitter flake from the carrier. And then we're going to get that pattern from the sublimation and transfer it over to this. So I want you guys to see this process because it's really important to getting everything just lined up right. And what's nice about adding this to the bottom platen after we've preheated is that it's letting the glitter flake release from that carrier a lot easier. So I'm basically just like folding this back and rolling it away to make sure that it's staying in place so that whenever I have to line this up with the metallic later, I'm not going to have an issue with that. Now I am going to have to piece these in later, but I just want you to see how I'm getting it onto that Teflon sheet so that everything's staying accurate. All right, so now we have to trim up our sublimation so that we can transfer it over to our glitter. And I'm going to be doing a 2-pattern sublimation transfer here. So I'm going to trim up my sublimation to make sure it's fitting the exact area I want to print. So this is going to go up on the leaves of my pineapple. So I'm going to place that there, making sure I have the leaves completely covered. And then for the next piece, I'm going to do the stars at the bottom. Or you know what? No, I did this backwards. I'm going to do the stripes as the bottom. And the stars as the top. So I'm just trimming these up to kind of fit where I want it to go on the design. And then all we have to do at this point is just lock this in place. So I'm just going to lock that in place by just going down. And what's nice about being able to go beyond the glitter flake is that you never really have to worry about missing. So if I were to contour cut this to make sure it was fitting exact, that could leave a lot of room for error because the paper isn't sticky at all and it can shift a little bit. So whenever I go to lock that down, if it moves, it's going to create ghosting and it could also push the transfer off of the glitter completely. So because I'm cutting these larger than the piece of my glitter flake that I'm sublimating, that's just helping me keep from any error happening so that I get the right transfer that I need. So at this point, we can go ahead and remove the sublimation sheets. All right, so you can see where it transferred over to the glitter. So why this is possible is because glitter is 100% polyester. So it will hold the ink of the sublimation perfectly and not wash off, and it's going to be really vibrant. So the same finishes that you're getting if you're sublimating ceramic mugs or polyester accessories like phone cases and 100% polyester shirts, that same vibrancy that you're getting from those items is the same vibrancy you're going to get from the glitter. All right, so what we're doing now is letting this cool because the adhesive needs to cool so that we can then transfer it over to our garment. So as soon as this adhesive is cool enough, I can go ahead and peel this back and then go in and lay down my pieces. Now you can see that this Teflon sheet is completely covered in that sublimation ink. And that's why I actually went ahead and trimmed this down because that's going to happen to all of the designs that we do. So if you're going to be sublimating a lot of glitter flake, just make sure you're keeping a lot of this Teflon material on hand because it's going to help, because this is not going to be usable again unless I'm using the same pattern. And at that point, I need to make sure I'm using a cover sheet so that it's not transferring up to my upper heating element. All right, so this is completely cool. And what this Teflon sheet is doing, what its purpose is allowing us to sublimate onto the glitter flake without the adhesive sticking to it. So the adhesive is actually being saved on there. And now we can still use this to apply it to the apparel and it still hold on there durably. And that's why we call these cover sheets non-stick cover sheets, reusable cover sheets, because if something were to stick to it, it's going to come right off because nothing can technically stick to this type of material. So the adhesive on the back of the glitter flake is being saved completely. So the first piece I'm going to apply is the top part of my glitter here. And then I'm going to go in and piece the rest of these in. And then we'll go ahead and lay in the metallic. So now all we have to do is load on our shirt. I'm going to thread this just so that I'm working with the top part of my t-shirt. I just think it's easier to be able to see the print area up this way as opposed to in the back. All right, and we're going to preheat the garment and go ahead and place this. Now, because I'm piecing this in, what I'm going to do when I apply this is also apply my metallic so that whenever I go to piece in the rest of my glitter flake that's still on my Teflon sheet here, it's easier for me to line it all up. All right, so I want to make sure I'm not too close to the collar, so I'm going to take this down a bit. All right, I need to make sure that I have a cover sheet for this application because this sublimation will get reactivated and stick to my upper heating element if I don't. So we're going to apply this for the recommended time that metallic applies for, which is 10 seconds. All right, so you can see my sublimation starting to transfer there. So anytime that this is hit with heat, it's going to activate. My metallic is a cold peel, so we'll wait for that to cool. But you can see how nice this is and how it's just getting all pieced together. So this is a really unique way to just kind of take your glitter designs to the next level. All right, so we're going to peel back that metallic. I love the way the silver looks with this design. All right, and now we're just going to load that back on and heat apply the rest of our design. And one other thing that you may have already picked up on is sublimation usually doesn't apply onto cotton, but because we are applying sublimation to glitter flake, we're able to now technically sublimate onto cotton because we're adding the polyester base of the glitter flake on there. So now we can print a full color sublimated design onto cotton without any issue. And honestly, the glitter flake is so easy to piece in here because it's a thicker product and it's not super flimsy. So I can just pick that up and just place it exactly where I need it to go. All right, so we'll cover that with a cover sheet and give it the rest of the time it needs. So glitter flake applies at 10 to 15 seconds. So we're going to give that 10 seconds. And now we have our fully sublimated glitter flake paired with CAD-CUT metallic on there. So this is a really, cool way to add sublimation to cotton, go beyond just your standard heat transfer vinyl, single color prints. So this is really, really cool. I actually really love how this turned out. All right, so for the next application we're going to go beyond just white glitter flake. Jerry says, y'all need another camera. Yeah, if I was back in the studio, we would have like 3 cameras set up, but I'm not advanced here in my house. All right, so we're going to sublimate onto coral, and we're going to do that with a tie-dye print. All right, so I tested this beforehand to make sure the colors of this would actually show up in this coral, and it actually looks really cool. So I'm excited to show you guys this one. So that's another misconception with glitter flake is that you need to use the white glitter flake only. It's the only one compatible, but that's not true. As long as you are using a color that's light enough to pick up the colors in your sublimation, you can use any of those colors. So we're going to remove this from the carrier that it's on. And get it under that heat so it's easier to remove from the carrier. This is probably the most tedious part of sublimating this. and why a lot of people recommend, you know, just using a solid piece for the heat transfer vinyl as opposed to doing like text throughout it. But once you get the hang of it, it becomes like a much easier process. All right, looks like all the pieces are good to go. We're gonna take our tie-dye sublimation. Make sure we got it all covered under there and lock it down. And for this design, we're actually going to be pairing another color of glitter flake with it. So this glitter flake color is our Nightfall color. It's new. We just added it. So it's kind of like a blue-green, like really dark color. But it's not, I don't want you guys to confuse it with the rainbow black that we offer, but it's just a really unique color. It's honestly so hard to describe because it's so unique, but it looks really, really good. I think it's going to pair really nicely with the colors in this tie-dye and the bright coral. We're going to remove that. And you can see that the tie-dye still held on there really well. So even though you're using different colors, as long as you're picking the right pattern to go on that color, you won't have an issue with that pattern really showing up in there. Now, the difference between this and the white is obviously going to be a lot different because when you're going on, and this is for sublimation in general, when you're going on a solid white, the more vibrant the colors in the sublimation transfer are going to turn out. So just keep in mind whenever you are sublimating on different colors of glitter flake, the sublimation colors in that pattern are going to take on the color that you are sublimating to. All right, so it looks like I can go ahead and peel this back. And what I'm going to do is apply this first and then piece the rest of this in. So we're going on 100% cotton. This is a Kavio t-shirt. Right, so that's Kavio, K-A-V-I-O. They do a lot of adorable apparel for infants, children, and women's. All right, so we're going to apply this one first. We're just going to tack this for a couple seconds. Get that adhesive activated. So now all we have to do is just lay the rest of this in. All right, so I'm just removing this from my Teflon sheet here. And then there are some pieces there left over that we will piece in after. But creating this artwork is really easy. I actually just added this artwork in CADWorks because I like how it turned out. So if you guys are interested in using this design, you can access it there. But I created it so that it's easy to use with sublimation because it has that extra contour around the heart so that you don't have to worry about it not like fitting into the extra color accurately. All right, and then just a couple more pieces. And this honestly isn't even necessary. Like we can add these extra pieces in just to make the color and the extra text pop here. But if you even wanted to leave these extra pieces out, you could so that it's less stuff that you have to add in. I like the way it's going to look with the extra pieces in there because I think it builds the design out better. But it's definitely optional. You don't have to have that in there. I just need to figure out where this one goes. All right. All right, and now that we have the sublimation in there, we need to cover with that cover sheet. And for this, I use craft paper because it's an easy reusable type of craft paper, and it's an easy throwaway. So if I was getting sublimation on to my craft paper, it's not that big of a deal because they come in a pack of 25 for like 10 bucks. So you have plenty of extra craft paper there. All right, so you can see where I even took out some of the extra cavities because I didn't want to have to piece in a ton, but overall that looks really, really good. So this is the tie-dye pattern in sublimation that you see here, printed onto bright coral. So it definitely took on that orangey tone of the bright colors in that glitter flake, but it still has that true nice glitter texture sparkle to it. So you're not compromising the finish of the glitter flake whenever you're sublimating. You're just adding more vibrancy and more color to it. So really cool process. We have one more design to do that we're actually going to pair with Ultra Weed. So this is more related to spirit wear. So what we're going to do is print onto our Coronado Gold with leopard. All right, so I'm seeing leopard pattern as a trend overall in apparel, whether that's in retail, spirit wear, what have you. It's being incorporated a ton. So I'm going to add it to this gold color because it's going to help just switch it up a little bit from the standard leopard pattern that we're seeing everywhere and just add some unique value to what you're selling as a printer. So let's do it on the Coronado Gold, see how that turns out. This one I didn't test, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but we'll see. All right, so this is going to go onto the Teflon. Going to add some heat to it. Get a new Teflon cover sheet on there. And do the same process that we've done before. Just lock that down. Let that sublimate for its full time and temp. So once again, whenever I'm sublimating on glitter flake, I do 385 for 40 seconds. And honestly, I sublimate with that same time and temperature for just about anything. Now, I have never sublimated onto hard goods like mugs or plaques or anything like that. So keep that in mind. That could vary. It's not something I've ever tested, so that could change. But it's typically a high temperature and a long duration. Oh, that looks really good. So this is, again, on the Coronado Gold. So it definitely takes on that really like pretty gold color. All right, so we'll just remove that from the Teflon or reusable cover sheet, I need to say. All right, I'm going to get rid of that Teflon so I don't accidentally reuse it. All right, so I'm going to I cut these separately because I'm working on scraps here. So I had to cut these separately so I could get the whole design cut on what I have left of my bright red Ultra Weed. And we're going to do this on 100, or I think this is actually a tri-blend. Oh no, it's 100% cotton. And this is by District from Sanmar. And I'm going to put the Ultra Weed on first, and because that's a nice 2-second tack. I don't know where my lint roller went, but I really need it for this shirt. Oh well. Okay, so preheat, and then we'll tack the Ultra Weed. This is a good 2-second tack product. Now this product actually applies as low as 280 degrees for cotton. So ideally I would like to be down there, but since we just sublimated, I'm not going to wait for that to cool down just so that I can show you guys this process. But just keep in mind whenever you are working with Ultra Weed, you can apply it at 280 on cotton. And if you're working on 100% polyester, you can apply that at 260. So really great product for any of those heat sensitive garments that you're working with. All right, and now I'm gonna lay in that last glitter piece and then my design will be done. So this will show you exactly how easy it is and why people like to go with just a solid piece of glitter, because I'm cutting my time back significantly by just having one solid piece on there. So that's why it's been done like that for the most part. But I don't want you guys to think that you can't also do a little bit of detail in there and piece it in, because it's definitely time consuming. But if you're doing a low run job, for example, maybe it's a one-off and it's personalization, then it's something that makes sense for you to do it and have the overall product that your customer is asking for. But if you're doing a ton, so like spirit wear, and you wanted to offer this, then it would be easier to just have a solid piece. All right, so that's the leopard pattern in our watercolor, and that is sublimated onto the Coronado Gold. And then we paired it with the bright red Ultra Weed. It just really helps that pop off the garment even more by having that extra color on there. All right, so really cool overall finishes. So let's go ahead and review all of the ones that we did. All right, so this one, we have our bright coral that was sublimated with the tie-dye pattern. And we paired that with the Nightfall Glitter Flake color that has a little bit of green and blues in it. We did the solid white glitter flake, and we sublimated that with two patterns of sublimation. We have the stars and the stripes. Both of these are the watercolor. So if you guys like these designs, just check out the watercolor section of our patterns. They're all listed out in different libraries. And then we paired that with the metallic silver. So that's a one-step foil. If you want that bright metallic shine to add to these designs, that's a really great product. Super production friendly and user friendly. On the Cricut, I just cut it on the iron-on setting, and it's a super easy weeding product. Right, and then another great product to pair with these designs, Ultra Weed, if you want to do a matte finish. All right, this is the bright red. If you want to pair just a solid basic heat transfer vinyl that's super user friendly, Ultra Weed is definitely the way to go. All right, and this was again that watercolored leopard pattern on the Coronado Gold. So not just for what completely white, but definitely great for glitter flake because it is a 100% polyester based product. So it's going to accept the inks into it, hold it on there nice and durably, and it's not going to come off in the wash cycle at all. This really helps take your glitter flake designs to the next level. And it also helps with getting sublimation designs onto cotton or cotton poly blends. So that's one limitation that sublimation has. If you want those really bright, vibrant colors, you want it to be on 100% polyester and a light colored fabric. So some people are doing sublimation on 50-50 blends, and while it looks great, it's just not going to last as long in the wash cycle because that cotton is still in there and it's not really accepting those inks as much as the polyester would be. So great way to get your sublimation designs onto cotton and just add a special effect finish to it. All right, so let's go ahead and visit the comment section and see if you guys have any questions that I may have missed. Scrolling up here. All right, I'm gonna stop at about 20 after. Here we go. So Jennifer asks, is the Teflon sheet you are using the 6 mil heat press cover sheet? I'm not sure what it's actually called on our website. So let's just head over there and check it out. I'm almost positive that it is, but I know it's definitely the reusable cover sheet. Yes, that's it. The 6 mil cover sheet right there. Yeah, so we call it a reusable cover sheet, but that's the one. You're right, Jennifer. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, and Denise asked, when subbing to glitter flake, what time, temperature, and pressure to use? So I'm at a medium to firm pressure for, not 400, sorry, 380 degrees for 45 seconds. So that is the time, temperature, and pressure I use for that. Jerry asked, the transfer sheets are a one-time use only with sublimation. These, so it depends on where it's, I'm trying to find one that I did already. So I wouldn't say they're a one-time use. I would say if there is an area of the transfer sheet that is sublimated, then go to the other part. So I wouldn't throw this entire sheet away if there's like a little piece that's sublimated. If you are ordering a custom sublimation transfer, it is going to be a one-time use. Once that ink is adhered for that period of time and that temperature, the inks at that point are pretty much all used up. You can't take that same transfer and use it again on another shirt, right? So that's, I hope I answered your question. I feel like I just got real confusing. But if I didn't answer your question, just email me. Jenny says your pink press is so adorable. I do love the pink press. It's a great one to just kind of keep in the house, especially if you're just doing like projects here and there, or if you need to take it to an event and travel with it because it's so small and so light, you can just pick it right up. I think it's only like 30, 32 pounds, something like that. So really great travel press, one to keep at home if you need to. But yeah, I love it. And it helps set its pink too. Hello, Veronica. All right. Can you put glitter flake onto the garment first, then do sublimation onto it? Yes, you can actually. The only thing I caution you on is if you are using a shirt that's maybe this color, just be careful with the sublimation accidentally going on the outside of the transfer. If it's 100% cotton, technically it would wash out. I'm not sure how many washes it would take, but you just want to be careful that no ink is accidentally bleeding onto the t-shirt. That's why I always use the Teflon sheet process and sublimate onto that and then transfer just to be safe. But it's definitely something that you can do if you add a additional like contour to your design so that you're making up for a bleed or an accidental shift of your paper. But what also helps with that process, Lee, is using thermo tape even to tape it down and make sure the exact contour cut is matching up with the glitter flake. So definitely something that you can do. I'm scared because I'm always afraid it's going to shift on me or accidentally bleed. All right. Looks like we're getting most of the questions answered from our team members that are on with us today. Jerry, yes, we do sell the craft paper. So I'm pretty sure we probably shared the link. Yep, there it is. Oops, forgot the link. Thanks, Danielle. All right. Roy Robinson, that's what I do with the glitter 3 to 5 second tack. Haven't tried glitter flake. So yeah, it works with glitter flake too. Roy, you can get the Teflon sheets also from our website. And LaDonna, so can your foil HTV be doubled? So I'm assuming by this you mean layered. This is not a layerable product, and neither is glitter flake. So that is why we did, that's why we're like breaking it apart as opposed to layering on it, because these types of products just aren't layerable because of the finish of them. They don't allow for the adhesive to hold on there. It will look like it works at first and it may last like 5 washes, but after that it's going to start peeling off because there's really nothing for the adhesive on the back of heat transfer vinyl to grip onto, such as like a fiber of a shirt. So just, yeah, there are products that you can't layer on, metallic being one of them, glitter is another one, and then the foil as well. Right. Seems like you guys liked how everything came out. So I'm excited about that. All right. Can flock be sublimated? So this is actually a really common question we get all the time. I have tested it. There's some polyester in it because the inks are definitely adhering to it, but it's not a 100% polyester substrate. So it's not showing up vibrantly. It actually looks very dulled. So if you're okay with kind of like a distressed look, or something like low luster, then go for it. People like different things, but I definitely just doesn't come out as vibrant as the glitter flake does. And Michael asked, what is the best heat transfer to use? Depends on what you're heat printing. That is a loaded question. Heat transfer vinyl, if you're looking for a solid heat transfer vinyl, Ultra Weed is definitely the way to go. It's a great go-to product. It can heat apply on just about anything except like nylon. And then for heat transfers digitally, if you're putting on sublimation, or if you're putting on polyester, sublimation is a great option. If you need solutions for cotton and cotton poly blends, we have a ton of digital products. So I definitely, because it's such a loaded question, it's hard to point you in the right direction. But if you can like call in with your sales rep or your customer service rep, we'll definitely be able to point you in the right direction for the type of heat transfer vinyl that you need for a job. All right, Denise says she loves the idea of subbing on glitter. It's so fun. I love doing it. I just like how it turns out because I really like glitter patterns, and just being able to make your own for a specific design that you need it for is really cool. Betty, do you have a non-glitter vinyl to sub? Not at the moment. There is something in the works that will work like a heat transfer vinyl that you can put your sublimation inks onto, but at the moment, no, glitter is the only solution. Michael asks, where do I get Ultra Weed? What is the brand name? So right on our website, stahls.com, Ultra Weed is listed under our CAD-CUT Direct section. So technically our heat transfer vinyls are the CAD-CUT Direct brand. So that's why we have CAD-CUT blank in front of all of our heat transfer vinyl products. So I'll actually post the link here. There you go. So that's the Ultra Weed, really easy product to work with. I love it. It's definitely my new go-to. It's just so easy to weed, and it applies at such a great temperature. Right. And one more question. I would like to sublimate vinyl to then cut with Cricut. So Jenny, I tested this out. I tried sublimating onto the glitter flake just as a sheet and then loading it onto my cutting mat and cutting it. It's definitely not the same as trying to cut regular glitter. It's very hard because the adhesive has been activated and therefore it is super gooey even when it's cooled down. So the blade doesn't like to cut a clean cut. It actually skips over it. It gunks up the blade really bad. So I definitely recommend cutting the glitter flake first in the design that you want it, putting it onto the reusable 6 mil cover sheet and sublimating it there and then transferring it to the shirt is really, really hard to get a design cut out after it has already been heated and the adhesive has been activated. I tried everything from cutting it by itself on the cutting mat, masking it. It was a whole process. I was super bummed because I was expecting it to turn out really cool, but it didn't at all. So yeah, just make sure you're cutting your designs out first and then doing the sublimation process. Is going to make your life a lot easier and save you a ton of headache. I wanted to pull my hair out by the end of that. All right, so thank you guys so much for staying on with me. We had a really great crowd today. If you guys have any additional questions, go ahead and comment those in. I'll revisit the comment section of the broadcast a little later. And I'll be sure to post all of the extra details into our Heat Press for Profit Facebook group. So if you're not in our Facebook group right now, definitely join in there. I'm going to do a recap of all of this. So that should probably answer most of the additional questions you guys may have. And be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you guys are joining on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page. We love having you guys on our broadcast. So if you do that, you can get updated every time we go live. So thanks again for joining me. I will see you guys again on Thursday at 11.